Hello. Yeah. Am I audible now? Hold on for a minute. Am I not audible? Uh, but I can see in the meeting that my mic is working properly. It's fine. Aman, please confirm whether I'm audible to you again. Please confirm that. See, I have texted you. Am I not audible to you? Give me a minute. Let me connect to the team.
Sir.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. No, you're audible.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. You were asking something.
Yeah, I was asking a question. My question was, apart from the green plants, are there some other autotrophic organisms also that can also
Sir,
perform photosynthesis? Yes.
I think so, sir. There are other
Hmm.
plants that are like, sir, we discussed the leaves which are in different colors. Sir, they can also be autotrophic since they can perform photosynthesis.
No, no, you didn't get my question. My question was that apart from the
No,
green
no, 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 sir.
plants,
No, apart from
uh,
plants, I don't think so that there are any autotrophic organisms.
see, actually, there are some. There are some apart from the green plants also. For example,
Sir,
you have algae, green algae. They can perform
algae,
photosynthesis.
sir, doesn't algae count in a plant?
It counts in the category of plant, but usually it's having features very different from a plant right now. So normally when we speak of, then we count of algae also. Apart from algae, you have examples of sulfur bacteria also. Keep that in mind. As I was telling you that some of the bacteria are also capable of doing this. Okay, no? So you have
Okay,
a
sir.
sulfur bacteria, Sulfur. Sulfur bacteria is also able to do photosynthesis. Right now, so along with the green plants, you have algae and you have some bacteria that are capable of performing photosynthesis. So hope you have got that.
Yes, sir.
What are the basic requirement for photosynthesis to take place?
Sir, water,
Hmm.
chlorophyll, sunlight, and carbon dioxide. Sir,
Carbon dioxide.
which
Hmm.
produces oxygen.
Along with,
And sir, starch in the form, and sir, sugar in the form of starch.
yeah, glucose is produced in the process and is stored in the form of starch. Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Yeah, Hassan, Assalamu alaikum. Hassan, please, dear, please join the class on given time. Okay, na?
Okay.
Hmm. How are you, Hassan, by the way?
Fine. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. All right then. So we did discuss about the mechanism of photosynthesis also. Right now, you guys know who discovered this mechanism of photosynthesis for the first time? Huh? My
No, sir.
question is, who discovered photosynthesis for the first time?
No,
It's a
sir, I
very
don't know.
interesting. You should sometime think about this. It was first discovered in the year 1779. Okay, na? How
Sir,
many
can you
years
give us
ago?
2 minutes to think?
Okay, okay. Think about it. Fatima was also is also there in the class. Na? She also hasn't joined yet. See, let me tell you. Yeah, Aman. See, there was this
Yes, sir.
person called as Jan Eigenhaus. Okay, na? Jan Eigenhaus. Although it is not very much important for the point of having some general knowledge, you can memorize his name right now. So this person, for the first time, he showed that plants requires light, it requires other important things in order to carry out a process, and in this
Sir, how
process
did you
they
discover
prepare.
it?
How did they discover it?
Yes, sir.
Basically, he did a number of different activities in order to discover this. Although that is not very much relevant how he discovered that, but basically he showed that plants need light. See, for example, if the plants were to keep in shade for a long period of time, so they now they will die after some time. If they were to be kept under shade for a long period of time, they will die ultimately. So thereby he proved that light is necessary. Then he also discovered that photosynthesis is the process that goes on inside the leaves of the plants right now. So that is the thing. Okay, now. Now do tell me one more thing. Like the raw ingredients required for the process of photosynthesis are namely carbon dioxide and water. What are they converted into?
Sir, what?
Carbon dioxide and water. They are converted into what? What is it converted into?
Sir, carbohydrate.
Carbohydrate, particularly glucose. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
What is the source of energy for the plants?
Sir, glucose, starch.
No, source of energy to carry out photosynthesis.
Sir, huh?
What is the source of energy for the
Sir,
plants?
sir, sunlight.
Sunlight. Hassan, you also getting these questions now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. What do we call the small pores found on the leaves of plants? What do we
Sir,
call those
stomata.
small stomata? Very good.
Good
Okay,
evening,
na?
sir.
Yeah, good evening, Suleiman. How are you?
Yes, sir, I am fine. How are you?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, I'm also fine. Why you guys are joining late today? Yeah, please be present at the given time. Otherwise,
Yes,
you'll
sir.
be missing on important things. While you were away, while you were not in the class, I did told an interesting thing that photosynthesis was discovered for the first time in the year 1779. So how many years back? Count it. How many years ago we discovered the process of photosynthesis? The
Sir,
name of the person was
245.
245. Good.
45.
So that many years ago we discovered photosynthesis.
Yes,
Jan
sir.
Eigenhorst was the person. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Anyways, today we are going to talk about the heterotrophic plants, right? Hope you guys haven't forgot the things we have discussed so far.
Sir,
Now
can I
do
tell
tell
this
me.
answer?
Yeah, everyone can answer this. You can also answer this. Yes.
In the chat box.
In the no, just in the class, tell me.
Oh, sir, it's nutrients, C part.
Okay, what do others think about this answer? Is it correct or false?
Sir,
Suleiman,
it's correct.
Hassan, it's correct.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
nutrients are required. Good. Let's to talk about nutrition in the heterotrophic plants. So although we have studied that majority of the plants are autotrophic in nature, but some of them follow a heterotrophic mode of nutrition, in which organisms would be depending on other organisms for their nutrition, for their survival. Right now, so let's understand about what are some different types of heterotrophic plants which we have to study about. Okay, now. So see, basically organisms which do not make their own food and depend for their food on other sources, we normally call them as heterotrophs. So those plants which do not make their own food and obtain their food from others, we call them as heterotrophic plants. So thereby they are unable to make their food by themselves. They obtain their food from other sources either completely or partially. Keep this thing in mind that heterotrophic plants will be obtaining their food from other sources either completely or either partially. It will depend upon the it will be depending upon the deficiency in their body. For example, if there's a deficiency of only few things in their body, huh? So for that, in order to make up for that deficiency, they will be depending on others, while some of the heterotrophic plants will completely depend upon others. Just to show you an example, for example, this pitcher plant which we are going to study about, it is able to carry out photosynthesis. It has chlorophyll in it, that's why it is green in color. So why do we study it under the category of heterotrophic plant? The reason is that it depends on different type of insects for to make up for the deficiency of nitrogen, because this fisher plant, you will get to know, grows in the soil in which nitrogen is not found. It grows in a nitrogen deficient soil. You guys getting my point now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's not like it completely depends on other, but for just one component, that is to take obtain nitrogen, to fulfill the nitrogen requirement, it will be feeding upon the insects, while some of them will be completely dependent on others. Just to, for example, take this plant over here, cascata, or also called as dodder plant, or in Hindi it is called as amar bel also. Okay, now you might have heard of it or might have seen it if you ever happen to visit some
Sir,
forest. Or yeah,
sir, Amarbel is a Hindi word.
I think it's a Hindi word. I think amar bel, I believe. Okay, no, sounds like a Hindi word to me.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now so heterotrophic plants, they are unable to make their own. Another thing we have discussed here, that some of them completely or partially depend on others for food. Now, under this category of heterotrophic plant, under this you will be having different types of heterotrophic plants. For example, you will be having insectivorous plants, you'll be having parasites. Okay, now you'll be having saprophytes, you'll be having symbiotic plants. So let me list down the different types of heterotrophic plants which we are going to study about. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, what do you mean by partially dependent on other for food?
Partially dependent means, just as I gave you an example of this pitcher plant. So it is able to carry out photosynthesis. It is green in color, it is able to carry out photosynthesis. But in order to meet the requirement of nitrogen, it has to depend on others. So thereby, partially, right
Okay,
now.
sir.
In that sense, it is said to be partially. So types of
Sir,
heterotrophic plants are as follows. Yes, I'm listening.
sir, Amarval is pitcher plant or that Kuskuta? Kuskuta.
Cascata. Cascata is also called as
Cascata.
amarbel. Okay, na?
Okay, okay.
Uh-huh. So you have the following types of heterotrophic plants. You guys name it. What are them? You have insectivorous plant. Right now, after insectivorous plant, you would be studying about parasitic plant, parasites. Then you have saprophytes, and the last one is symbionts. Okay, now. So these are the four major categories of heterotrophic plants which we are going to study about. Now, what are now you see, as you know, they are not able to prepare their own food. They would be either partially or completely dependent on others to make up for the deficiency. Heterotrophic plants may be non-green also, like they won't be having chlorophyll in them. They would might be leafless also, and they might also uh, be devoid of the normal roots. Like there could be some plants, there could be some heterotrophic plants in which neither chlorophyll will be found, neither leaf, neither roots will be found. Right now, so they are called as total parasites. Let me add one more slide. I will need one extra slide over here. See. What I am saying, that heterotrophic plants may have following different characteristics right now. So heterotrophic plants, heterotrophic. By the way, when your summer vacations are going to start?
Sir, mine are starting from this 18th.
Okay, what about others? Yes, Hassan, Suleiman.
Sir, for me, it's like first unit, first first unit one, and then half yearly after that summer vacation.
Okay. So some plants, what about you, Hassan? Without,
Sir, um, I it's like um 35, like this one,
it's like
36, 35 or 36. It's
35 or 36. I mean, I didn't get it. Like, it's not 35 or 36 in what sense?
sorry, sorry, 25 or 26.
That's why I thought that when did the calendar changed, huh? Okay, anyways. So see, some of them would be leafless and some of them would be won't be having normal roots. So leafless and without roots. Okay, now. So, so they would be depending upon others totally. So they would be called as total parasites. Getting it, guys, what I'm trying to say. Okay, no? So they would be depending upon, they depend on others totally. Hence called as total parasites. Okay. Then they might be green. That means they would be having chlorophyll, but they would be lacking in root. They would be rootless. Okay, now they would be having chlorophyll, but they would be rootless. They will be able to synthesize their own food. With the help of chlorophyll, they would be able to prepare the food. But for water and minerals, they will have to depend on other sources. So
So,
then, yes,
sir, how will they take water?
how will you?
How will they take water? Water.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That in order to take water and minerals, they will be depending on other sources, right now. So then they are called as partial parasites, right now. So we have examples of partial parasitic plants also. Okay, now. So that is the thing, guys. So let me write it over here. Some of them have chlorophyll but are rootless. So they depend on other sources for water and minerals. Getting it now, Hassan? So we
Yes, sir.
call them as partial parasites because they are able to carry out photosynthesis. They will be able to do photosynthesis, yes, but in order to take water minerals, they have to depend on others. So they are called as partial parasites. Now, some of the heterotrophic plants we are going to study about, they would be depending upon dead organic matter, right now. So they would be feeding upon the dead organic matter, dead plants and dead animals, and will obtain nutrition from them, right? So they will be having a saprophytic mode of nutrition. So some of them obtain nutrition from dead organic matter. Hope you guys are getting it. What do I mean when I say organic matter? Here it would be dead plants and animal matter. We call them saprophytes. Then you would be having some of the plants which are able to synthesize their own food because they would be having chlorophyll in them. So some of them will be having chlorophyll. They would be able to obtain water with the help of their roots, but but for special nutrients like for nitrogen, they would be depending on others for such as they would be eating insects. So thereby you would be having insectivorous plants right now. So some of them are able to synthesize their food. Synthesize their food basically here means that prepare their own food right now. They have chlorophyll in them. So some of them are able to synthesize their food with the help of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll and they can obtain water and can obtain water via their roots. But for nitrogen, have to depend upon insects. So thereby they are insectivorous plants. Let's study about each of them in detail. So we did talked about parasites. Like parasitic plants would be of two types. One would be total parasite, another one would be partial parasite. Then you would be having saprophytes, then you would be having insectivorous plants. Now, which one of them would be able to carry out the process of photosynthesis? Yeah, partial parasites would be able to carry out photosynthesis. Getting it, guys? They would be able to do photosynthesis. Talking about the saprophytes, they lack chlorophyll in them, so they won't be able to do photosynthesis. So no photosynthesis in this one. What about the insectivorous plants? Will they be able to do this? Yes, Suleiman, Aman, and Hassan. Hello. My question is
Yes.
that will insectivorous plants be able to do this? Will they be able to perform photosynthesis?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, yes. So yes, photosynthesis can be done by them as well. All right now. So that is the thing. Then there's one more type of insectivorous
Sir,
plants that is, yes,
sir, will Venus flytrap be able to perform photosynthesis?
yeah, obviously. Venus flytrap is also able to perform photosynthesis because it has chlorophyll in it.
Sir, where is it performed in the leaf?
Yeah, in their body also, wherever chlorophyll will be found in their body.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So photosynthesis is performed in the body of Venus flytrap also. And according to researchers, it has been shown that if you were to look at the structure now, uh, in the leaf also, in whatever structure that you see, which is greenish in color, their photosynthesis will happen in it. Now let's start our discussion and let's first of all talk about this insectivorous plant. That is, you have the Venus, you have the pitcher plant and the Venus flytrap. Okay, there's one more thing I would like to add before we move further. You know the saprophytes. In this, you should know about the meaning of sapro. You know what does sapro mean? Sapro basically refers to rotting substances. Okay, now let me write it over here. Sapro means rotting. So saprophytic plants would be saprophytic plants would be feeding on anything that would be rotting. Okay, let's continue with this insectivorous plants. So you have the examples of pitcher plant and you have the examples of Venus flytrap. Now in this part you get to see that insectivorous plants eat living insects for their food. Hence we call them as insectivorous plants. Now they are abnormal plants. Usually we say that they are abnormal plants. No? Why? Because they are eating insects for their food. Even when they are green, even they have normal roots. Right now. Now you know we call them autotrophs. We call them autotrophs in the sense that they are able to synthesize their own food. Since they are able to carry out photosynthesis, so they are autotroph, that is, they are able to synthesize their own food. But looking at their nature, they have to depend on others also for some for fulfillment of some nutrition. So they are called as partial heterotrophic plant. They are called as partially heterotrophic in nature. Getting it or not? So this Venus flytrap has specialized leaves to trap insects. It has got specialized leaves to track insects, trap insects. Now, once the insects goes into this Venus flytrap's leaves now, thereby what will happen? The Venus flytrap, the leaves of this Venus flytrap will close upon the insect, and slowly it will start to secrete the digestive enzymes which will start to digest the body of the insect. So in this manner, Venus flytrap obtains its nutrition. So hope you guys have understood about Venus flytrap. Okay, no?
Yes,
It
sir.
can be found in different parts of the world. Usually, it will be found in the in the in the wetlands of Carolina. It can be found in the eastern coast of United States, or in different areas. It can be found right now. So that is the thing, and it can take a Venus flytrap around 3 to 5 days to digest in organisms, and it can survive months without eating anything. So just one or two insects would be sufficient for it for a long period of time. Hope it is clear to everyone. Now, a question might be arising in your mind that how Venus flytrap insects attracts insects. Huh? You know,
Sir,
it
in
would.
that, sir, in it's that leaf type things. Those.
Those leaf-like things. No,
Yes.
it will smell food-like.
Yes.
It will give a food-like smell. Right now, getting it. So it will release a smell that is similar to the smell of the nectar. Nectar in the flower.
Yes, sir.
Right now. So leaves mimics the smell of flowers and fruits. And towards flowers, usually insects are attracted towards flowers to suck the nectar, the sweet juice found inside the flower. So that's how it does this. Then let's talk about this pitcher plant. How this pitcher plant obtains nutrition. So it is also another type of insectivorous plants which we have, and it will be having modified leaves. It has got modified leaves right now. Let us understand how it basically performs its function. You would see that these are the modified leaves, and at the tip of the modified leaves, the pitcher is hanging. This swollen structure that you see, this is called as pitcher. It is called as pitcher, and they would be actually hanging from these long and broad leaves. Right now, let's understand about this in detail. So pitcher plant, they are carnivorous plants that get their nutrition from digesting insects and other small animals. They do this by trapping the animal in a pitcher-shaped leaf where it will eventually die and decompose. The pitcher plant then absorbs the nutrition from the decomposing animals. See
Excuse me,
what
sir.
will happen? Yes, sir, Aman.
Sir, they also have a hairy structure inside.
Exactly. See,
Sir, they
if
are
you
called trigger hairs. When
trigger
they,
hairs,
yes, sir, when they feel something on the trigger
Mhm.
hairs, they will
Mhm.
close.
Very good. See what happens basically. They would be having ears that would be pointing in the inward direction. It is like this. See, hair would be bent in inward direction like this. Okay, no? So once the insect will sit upon this, once the insect lands on this leaf-like structure, right? And why it will be sitting on it again? It will give a fruity smell. The pitcher releases a fruity smell similar to that of nectar of a flower. You know how fruits smell, how flowers smell. So same kind of smell is mimicked by this pitcher plant. And in order to suck the juice, there are some sticky substance found on the inner lining of this pitcher plant. In order to suck that, this will go on to sit over here. Now what happens now? Usually you see that as soon as it sits over here, those hairs that are found and those are bent in inward direction will cling to its body. It will get entangled on those hair-like structure, and also because of the sticky juice found on the inner lining, it gets completely trapped inside this, and thereby it is unable to come outside. And eventually, after struggling for some time, it will fall into this. It will fall into this, and thereby the pitcher plant will slowly start to digest the body of this insect. In this manner, it is able to obtain the nitrogenous compounds and other nutrition from this insect. Right now. So hope you guys are getting this. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no?
Sir,
Then this gives you a better image of the Venus flytrap. Yes.
sir, can you show that picture where the picture plants diagram is shown?
This one.
Yes, sir, this one. Sir,
Yeah.
can you please tell what is the tendrilia petiole and the wing petiole?
Okay, what is the tendrillor petiole and what is the
Yeah, sir,
winged
and the
petiole?
wing petiole.
Okay, see. First of all, you need to understand like what is petiole. If you were to look at the structure of the leaves, there are different parts of the leaves now. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So
Sir, petiole is the like sir, petiole connects the leaf to the stem.
very good. So this part is called as petiole. So here
Yes,
you
sir.
have got
We have studied it in
petiole.
sixth.
Very good. In six, you must have studied. You would have studied
Yes, sir.
about midrib. You would have studied about
Sir, in plants.
in plants. You would have studied about. You would have studied about
Sir,
margin, veins,
yes.
base of the leaf, etc.
Sir, veins, sir, the type of veins, sir, root,
Types of vein. You'd have studied
fibrous
about
roots, trap
parallel
roots.
and reticulate venation.
Yes,
Anyways,
sir.
let me answer your question. See, in this you have seen that what is happening. The petiole is coming in the other direction. The petiole is coming from this direction again also. Right now. So what you find here that this petiole is hanging over here. This petiole is winged petiole. Basically, through this petiole is talking about this winged petiole. You see that to this part, it is not attached over here. While to this another petiole, that is tendrillor petiole, you would find that it is little bit rounded, and to this petiole, the picture is hanging. So look at this plant over here. Like this petiole is winged petiole. This is a winged petiole. This one over here is a tendrillor petiole.
Oh, sir.
So,
So a winged petiole is a petiole which doesn't
hmm,
consider a picture.
which does from which pictures are not hanging. Okay, no?
Yes, sir. And certain tendriliar petiole are the petiole from which the picture plant is hanging.
Yes, that is the case. Okay, no?
Okay, sir.
Okay, apart from these two, there are some other insectivorous plants also. If you guys know, you can keep that also in your, if you can learn about that also. Again, look at this Venus flytrap. Again, both Venus flytrap and the Pisher plant. In what kind of soil they will be growing? They would be growing in the soil which is deficient in nitrogen. Getting it, guys? Both of them will grow in nitrogen deficient soil. So Venus flytrap gets some of its nutrition from the soil, but to supplement its diet, the plant eats insects and arachnids also. Right now. So ants, beetles, grasshoppers, flying insects, and spiders are all the victims of the flytrap. It can take a Venus flytrap around 3 to 5 days and can go months without taking any meal. Hope you guys have understood this.
Yes, sir.
Name, note some other examples also. Other insectivorous plants. So you have the example of sundew. That is also one of the example. Then you have one more example called as bladderwort. Bladderwort. Okay, so if anyone has any question regarding this, please do let me know. This bladderwort be usually found in marshy areas, in marshy land. Okay, na? In marshy pools it will be found. Okay, no? Any questions
Yes,
from
sir.
this?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm asking a question. Insectivorous plants are green. Even then they consume insects. Why is it so?
Sir, sir, can
Mhm.
I tell?
Yes, Aman.
Sir, insectivorous plants are green and they can perform photosynthesis, but sir, they consume insects to absorb nutrients from them. No, sir,
Hmm.
not nutrients, to absorb nitrogen.
Correct. Very good. Okay, another question. Suleiman, you answer this to me. Which part of an insectivorous plant is modified to trap insects? Is it the stem? Is it the leaf? Is it the root?
Sir,
Which
it's a
part?
leaf, right?
Leaf. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Correct. What are the different examples of pitcher plants we have studied so far, Hassan?
Yes. Sir,
Hmm.
sir, can I tell?
Just give me him few seconds. Yes, Hassan. What are the different types of insectivorous plants we studied about so far?
Heterotroph.
What are the different types of heterotrophs? Particularly, we talked about insectivorous plants. They were different examples of heterotrophic plants. What were they?
Pitcher plant,
Pitcher plant and
Venus flytrap,
yes,
and Amarvale.
Merbill. No, that is a parasitic plant. No?
Yeah.
You have example of sundew and bladderwort. Okay, no.
India. Rather.
Okay,
Yes.
guys, answer this question.
Sir, can I take?
Yeah.
Send the chat box. Sir, A.
Okay. In the class only, guys. Pitcher
Oh.
plant
A.
traps insect
A.
because it
Sir, can it be A?
no. A
Sir,
isn't
how
the
not A?
most appropriate answer. Look at other options also.
Sir, okay, sir, I've got my answer.
Okay, now what about others also? The main reason behind trapping the insects is
Sir, B.
okay. Everyone
Sir,
agrees with B.
yes,
Yeah, Hassan, what about you?
yes, I agree.
Yeah, so it grows in soil which lacks nitrogen. So that is the main reason. Good guys. Okay, no. Okay. So we are done talking about that. Now we are talking about parasitic plants. Now, if you were to talk about parasites in general, now you all have heard of parasites like virus is a parasite,
Sir.
leech is a parasite, right now. Roundworm or tapeworm is a parasite. You know, there are worms found inside the intestines of humans also. So parasites are found inside the human body, above outside the human body also. Right now, there could be some parasites that could be found to be in
Sir,
the stomachs and in the intestines also. Yes,
sir, some parasites can be too deadly.
yeah, they can be very deadly.
Sir, for example, sir, I learnt about a parasite in my school,
Mhm.
sir, which bites an insect and the insect starts doing some kinds of things like biting itself and doing something, stuff like that.
Yeah, see, it's not, we say that some parasites can hijack the body of other organisms in that sense. For example, you would know that some of the organisms can manipulate other organisms. Huh?
Yeah,
For
sir, yes,
example,
it was just like that only.
in that manner, right now. So it would be affecting their behavior. It would
Hmm.
affect their behavior. So that is the thing.
Okay,
So
sir,
you would
thank you.
find that particularly in the documentaries made by National Geographic or other channels, they would be basically showing it right now. Basically, they are doing it basically in order to aid their own reproduction, in order to help them do reproduction. See, for example, you have different examples of worms. You have some species of worms So they would go inside the body of other organisms. They would go inside the body of other organisms, and they will start to control them, and they would control them in such a manner that they would be obtaining particular nutrients for this worm, and worm would be getting all those nutrients in order to produce eggs. So animals require lots of energy while they are producing eggs. So in that sense we can see, so we have general examples of parasites in nature. You have a leech, you have some parasites living on the human body, huh? Living inside the human body. Like some parasites are found on the scalp of human. You guys know that there are some parasites found on the human scalp also, no?
Sir, on the
Like
bark of trees.
on the bark of trees also there are some parasitic organisms. Like you all have heard of lice, right? It's found in
Sir,
the head in some cases if the you don't keep your head clean. Yeah.
sir, some parasites are also found in other parasites.
That can also be a case. Very good. that
Sir, it
that is
goes on
also
and
seen in
on and
nature.
on.
Not goes on and on, but usually in some cases there would be such examples also,
Yeah.
right now.
Sir, but inside some parasites, there are some other parasites.
There are such examples. It's not like we don't find such examples. There are some such examples, okay now. Anyways, let's stick to our discussion. So we have some parasitic plants also, namely whatever type of parasites you have, they do not they are not able to prepare their own food. As in the beginning I told you, there would be some partially partial parasites, there would be some total parasites, right now. So in the case of parasitic plants, you would be having some total parasites, some would be partial parasites. So we have some examples of total parasitic plants also, right now. For example, take this example of cascata. Talking about cascata, if you were to look at the structure of this cascata now, see that these are the stems of cascata, and it would be having a spatial structures like this in their body, and this will now, it is in such a manner, like say that this is the host plant, okay, this is your host plant, and say that these are the cascata. Now the way in which cascata will be obtaining nutrition from this host plant is very interesting. See what basically happens, it clings around the body of this host organisms, and moreover what it will do, it will start to connect with the vascular system of this plant, meaning that the tissues of this plant connects together with the tissues of the host plant and starts obtaining nutrition from them. So cascata has got a unique mode of obtaining nutrition from host organisms. Let me repeat what I have just said over here. See, in this case, it is obtaining nutrition from its host organism in such a manner that it would be having some structures like this, as I was telling you. There would be some structures like this coming out of the body of cascata, and that will start to connect with the tissues of the host organisms. So you can understand it in this manner. Let's say that this is a stem of a host plant, the one which I have drawn in red color. Host cell stems, and this is your cascata. Now here what is happening, the tissue, the body of the cascata and the body of the host plant, both of them connects. Body of host plant and cascata connects. So thereby whatever minerals, salts, water is flowing in the body, and food also is flowing in the body of the host and a host animal, host plant I mean to say, that will go into the body of the cascata also. You guys getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to you also, Suleiman and Hassan?
Yes.
Okay, no? So their cells join together, their tissues join together. So that is the thing. So a parasitic plant will depend on its host for the survival. Some parasitic plants have no leaves. For example, you have this one. It does not have any leaves in it, right now? And another name for this cascada plant is dodder plant also. So it has got weak cylindrical stems that coils around the host and forms suckers. As I was telling you moments ago, there would be special structures on the body of cascada plant. This is what I was talking about. They're called as suckers. So it's like they would be sucking the waters, minerals, food, salts from the host plant, right? So from these suckers, cells invade the host system and grow to connect with the vascular bundle of the host. Just like in your body, you have got veins, arteries, capillaries in which blood is flowing. In the previous class, I did told you about xylem and phloem. How many of you remember that? We talked about xylem and phloem. Yeah, Aman, Hassan, Suleiman.
Yes, sir.
Okay, na? So we discussed like through xylem, water and mineral flows in the plant.
Sir, it
Through
is present in the stem now.
it is present in the stem,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
but
I
you will get
remember.
to know further it connects to the leaves also, right now.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So you know what happens? The cells found in these suckers will connect with the xylem and phloem found in the um, xylem and phloem that will be found in the cells of host plant. So from these suckers, cells invade the host system and grow to connect with their vascular bundle of the host. And now they will be obtaining water and nutrients through these connections. So a connection has developed between the two, and through this they will be obtaining the nutrition right now. Now, talking about this cascada plant, it's a total parasite. It's a example of total parasites. Getting it, guys? So total parasites are sometimes called as holo parasites also, because they're completely dependent on its host. Is that clear? Now then you will be having some other parasitic plants. If you guys can recall this discussion which we had in the beginning, we did discuss that there would be some total parasites and there would be partial parasites also. So what is an example of total parasite? So we have example of this cascata. Okay, no? Then you would be having some examples of partial parasites also. So other parasitic plants called as hemiparasites are fully photosynthetic. They are able to carry out photosynthesis, but they would be in order to meet the requirement of water and minerals, they would be depending upon the host organisms. So is that much clear to everyone or not? Yeah.
Yes,
Hemiparasites
sir.
is
Sir.
hemiparasites are is clear or not? Is hemiparasite clear to everyone? Suleiman, you got it?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Good then.
Yes, sir.
So that is the thing. If you guys are curious to know, I can give you an example of hemiparasite. Semi-parasite or hemiparasite, both are same thing. Okay, na? Hemiparasite or semi-parasite, static plant, both are same thing. So you have one example. Example is Loranthus. So that is an example of it. Although it's not that much important, but still, if you want, you can remember it for the sake of having some general knowledge. So we are done talking about it. And as I to one more thing, you need to know that there are almost 4100 species of parasitic plants right now. So we learned about just few of them, but there would be different species of parasitic plants. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now we are going to talk about the saprophytic plants.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, the fungal spores are present in the air.
Hmm. Okay,
Sir,
guys,
but it is also called as fungi spores.
hold on
Fungi
for what?
spores.
Yeah, we'll be discussing that. I just recall one more important thing. We did completely discarded this Rafflesia plant. Yeah. In our discussion, we had to talk about Rafflesia. You all know about Rafflesia? How many of you have heard of Rafflesia?
No, sir, I have not.
Not heard of Rafflesia. It's the biggest flower. Rafflesia is the
Sir,
biggest
if
flower.
I will see the picture, I think I'll remember.
Yeah, I will be showing you the picture. See, one moment. See, Rafflesia is a parasitic plant. Okay, now this is the plant I'm talking about. Okay,
Oh,
it's actually a
okay, sir.
flower. So Rafflesia it's a total parasite. Rafflesia is an example of total parasite. Getting it now, Hassan, Suleiman, and Aman.
Yes, sir.
It grows on the roots of the host plant. Where does it grow? It grows on the root of the host plant. So you see, where are they found to be growing? On the roots of the host plant. So keep that thing in mind. These are the images of it. And it flowers in a very long time. It was first discovered in the year 1818. Okay, na? So it was discovered a long time ago in the year
Okay, sir.
1818, and by the person 1818. And interestingly, its name is also after the person. It was named after the person who discovered it for the first time. Okay, no. So that was Sir, I believe Sir Stamford Rafflesia. That Raffles, I think Raffles. Yeah, Sir Stamford Raffles was the person who discovered it for the first time. So while he was on a tour to Sumatra, there he discovered this flower for the first time. You would be amazed to know that it has a diameter of 50 to 100 centimeter, and it's actually a flower. Then we discussed that it's a total parasite, isn't it, Hassan, Suleiman,
Yes, sir.
Aman? It's a
Yes,
total
sir.
parasite. And another thing is that it gives a very bad smell. It gives a rotten smell, as if how a rotten egg smells, huh? Right now. So
Yes,
it
sir.
smells bad. How bad? It smells like a rotten meat or rotten egg. Rotten meat. That is the thing. Will chlorophyll be present in it?
No, sir.
No chlorophyll in it. No chlorophyll. Another general knowledge thing about it is that it's the largest flower. It's the most gigantic flower in the world. Right now,
Sir, it looks like an Pokemon.
Pokemon. Okay, that I'm not sure of.
Sir, there's a Pokemon. Looks like this.
Okay, okay. You have some other examples of partial parasites also. We were talking about partial parasites like hemiparasites. So you had one example of Loranthus. You'd be having one more example. Keep that thing also in mind. You have example of Viscum also. So Viscum is also one such example, right? Now you guys would have heard of sandalwood also. How many of you have heard of sandalwood? Sandalwood?
Sir, I.
You have heard of it now? You know,
Sir, I just
interestingly,
heard
this is
about it.
also, yeah, good. Interestingly, this is also a heterotrophic plant. Commonly, you will find it in jungles of different states in India, like you can find it in the jungles of Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka, in Kerala. You know, they are rootless green plants, and they grow as partial parasites on the roots of the host trees. Right now, do one thing. We'll be continuing from here in the next class. So saprophytes and symbiotic plants. Those two categories of plants are left to be discussed. Okay, now guys. So we will continue from there in the next class. If you guys have
Okay,
any
sir.
other questions, please do let me know.
No, sir.
Okay, na? there are one or two activities that are there to be discussed in the class. Like we did talk about the uh, iodine test. Now we did discuss that. We would be discussing two more activities where you would be learning about why an activity. We would be understanding how carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis, and we would be learning how we would be learning an activity in which you will see that oxygen will be given out by the green plant during photosynthesis. To prove that, we would be understanding it via an activity.